Ever since I heard about the success of John Proctor is the Villain on Broadway, I couldn't stop thinking about this show, and I was so eagerly anticipating for it to open in London. And it finally did at Royal Court Theatre, and I went to check it out during the first week of its performances. And in this video, I'm going to tell you a bit more about my impressions and why I, spoiler alert, love this show. If this is your first time on my channel, then welcome. I'm Christina, and I love going to theatre and creatively expressing myself. And this is a channel where I talk about all different reviews and things that I get up to. So if you like the sound of it, then make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment because it helps my channel grow. If you would like to take part in my 2026 theatre challenge, then make sure to download the template in the description box below. The story of John Proctor as the Villain is set in rural America in a classroom where students are analyzing The Crucible by Arthur Miller with their English lit teacher. And this is all happening in 2018 in the midst of Me Too movement, which is pretty much the crucial part of understanding the context of this show. Written by Kimberly Bellflower, this play has enjoyed a really big success on Broadway, where it got nominated for 7 Tony Awards, and Sadie Sink was portraying the role of Shelby, and she also got a Tony nomination for the portrayal of that character. So it has received quite wide acclaim so far, and the reason for it is because it's really giving this classic, The Crucible, a new way of seeing things, and is educating a whole new generation of theater goers how these classics now have a new way to be interpreted and analyzed, and that maybe narratives that English lit teachers in this case are trying to put forward as the right ones should be challenged, because the girls in the show are challenging this notion of John Proctor being this heroic martyr and arguing that he's actually the villain who has manipulated his position and power. While on the surface level this is what the play is about, there are so many different layers to this show and different plot points, which I'm not going to go into too much detail because I don't want to spoil it for you. But what you need to know is that the girls within this class also form a feminist club where they are able to dive into different narratives and reclaim the ways in which women have been positioned around them. But what's happening at the same time is that certain sexual allegations from people close to them are happening, and this is opening their eyes to understanding the world in a slightly different way. I will leave it at that, but you can already see from what I said that there are so many different elements that are making this piece so incredibly powerful. I was really impressed by the cast members, who are all young performers, and for some of them this is their debut performance as well. So it was really refreshing and beautiful to see how they're all giving 1000% on that stage to truly do justice to these characters that are so beautifully written and clearly defined by Kimberly that it's really easy to follow the storyline and parallel narratives, and it all beautifully ties together into something that feels like a bit of a revolution on its own. The performances that I was really impressed by are Sadie Soverell, who's portraying Shelby, which is a role originated by Sadie, and then Mia James, who portrayed Raylene. And they are the two friends who actually fell out because Shelby has had something with Raylene's long-term boyfriend. So at the moment when we actually get introduced to these characters, there is a friction between them. But over the course of the play, they find a way towards each other, and the most emotionally gripping arc in the show. And I really enjoy the performances of both of these leads because they approach the relationship between these two characters with so much tenderness, but also staying true to whatever their characters are feeling. So for example, for Raylene, she's going from a girl who is not really sure what she wants in life and who she is without the relationship with her now ex-boyfriend, and she's transforming in front of our eyes as the audience into someone that she's getting to know and we're getting to know. Shelby is someone who has always had a really strong moral compass, maybe has always been labeled as someone who's too much or crazy, as they call it in the show, but her presence is very much grounded in things that are real and that are truth and that are driving her because of things that she has experienced. And it was beautiful seeing these two performers bring these characters together, because ultimately they are the epitome of celebration of female friendship and being there for each other even if the world around you is collapsing. Holly Hoden Gilchrist is delivering another incredible performance of Beth, and she is the nerd in the group, but I love that Kimberly didn't portray Beth as a nerd who nobody wants to hang out with. She's very crucial to keeping the girls together and organizing things such as the feminist club, and maybe she's doing that for the reasons of getting into good university, but her heart is at the right place. And ultimately she's one of the characters that actually has the biggest revelation in the show. There are plenty of other performances that are amazing. Donald Finn is portraying Carter Smith, who is their teacher. Then Claire Hughes is portraying Ivy Watkins, who's another one of the girls. I also particularly enjoyed the performance of Reese Braddock. This was his debut performance and he nailed it. All those cast members had really good bond on stage, and that was so crucial to delivering the show. And if there is one thing that resonated in terms of the acting, it's that it felt really raw and powerful, and I think that all actors have done an impeccable job to deliver the show. So it's really, really, really strong cast that I absolutely adored seeing. I also really loved the set. This was a very simple set in terms of the classroom, but it had so many different details. And one thing that I really loved is that they actually didn't just focus on the classroom and then people would just leave the classroom and go kind of behind the stage, but there was actually a little corridor that they would use which had all the lockers and everything. So I just felt that it was so detailed and it truly transported you to that moment of kind of like you're seeing yourself being back in that age and having these conversations with your teacher, and dynamics in the classroom are something that everyone is familiar with. So this is where this play excels. There's so much that feels familiar, but there is this new take on it, and there is this heaviness that is now brought upon these kids who are trying to figure out what is the right way and ultimately just trying to do well in school. So from my perspective, the set design has definitely helped facilitate that intimacy of certain conversation and brought the familiarity that I think everyone in the audience has felt from the moment that the set was revealed. So I think it was a really, really great choice. Another thing that I need to mention is the soundtrack. The soundtrack is full of amazing bangers, and maybe you are familiar, if you know anything about this show, that Green Light by Lorde is a pretty big part of the show, because that is a song that is used as a reference a couple of times, and it's also the song that they use to wrap up the final scene. Throughout the play, there are references to pop stars such as Taylor Swift or Robin or Selena Gomez. So this is very much catered to new audiences from the moment you enter the auditorium, because you can hear these songs playing, and that kind of sets the right tone and the mood for what you are going to experience, and also the references that you're going to hear within the show. So when it comes to the vibe of the show, I think that they really nailed it with so many different elements that are very much on point for the discussions that these characters are having, the way that they're having them, the way that they're reacting. So everything feels so real and like you're truly transported back into that classroom. The power of this show lies in its central theme, which is all about helping young women reclaim their narratives. And while it is set specifically in 2018 around Me Too movements, this is something that is happening all the time, and it is great for a show to really allow these conversations to exist and to find their space in relationship to both old, such as the crucible, and the new, which is the moment that these characters are living. And I really like this element of reassessing what we know about specific characters, about big works of art that have been interpreted in a certain way. And now with this all understanding and awareness that women finally have, we can have a whole new take on it, and I think we should be having a whole new take on it. So it is a really, really important piece of theater, especially for younger generations, but I think that this is the show where a lot of women will find themselves supported and encouraged to see, and ultimately it is an emotional watch, because it's not only about reclaiming narratives, but it's also about female friendship and the support that women can give to each other, and how beautiful that is when it happens and when it evolves and when we are allowing each other to have these conversations openly with each other. I shed a tear or two, and there were quite a few people who were leaving the theater just feeling very emotional about what they witnessed, and if that's not a sign of good theater, I don't know what is. So it's a show that is definitely resonating particularly with women, but with that comes a bit of a caveat or a bit of a warning, is that this show is addressing sexual misconduct, and it's very close to what a lot of women have experienced in one way or the other without even sometimes being aware that that's what happened to them. And because there haven't been spaces historically to talk about it, it could be very triggering for someone who can find themselves in these stories. And that is one thing to bear in mind if you go to see this show, that there is an element of discomfort, especially if you're a woman, to witness what's happening on stage. But regardless, the show is so well executed, delivered with some of the top talent, and it's so beautifully written that I think this hour and 50 minutes that I spent in the theater, I was so gripped and engaged and really was invested in characters, and that is what I loved about this show the most. It is in London until 25th of April, so it's a very short run and it is sold out, but if you're looking to get tickets, you can try rush tickets on the day with Today Tix app, or you can try for returns and keep checking the website or call the box office to check when is the best time to look for these, and that way secure yourself a ticket to see this at Royal Court Theatre. If you're wondering what are the other shows that I have been eagerly anticipating this year, then I have this video where you can check out 10, which I'm really excited to see.